wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Peter was excellent. Well, now let's think about the party. It's time for fun. Oh, by the way, who's coming to the party tomorrow?
Well, David will be here. Mary, Paul, and Tom will be here as well. Everyone will be here.
I wonder if Jack will be here.
Jack? Why?
He's leaving on a business trip tomorrow morning. He doesn't know exactly when he'll be back.
Hey, girls. What are you talking about?
Anne's telling me that you won't be coming to the party this evening. It isn't true, is it?
Yes, it is. I'm afraid I can't.
Business before pleasure. You never will change, will you?
Excuse me. Hello? Oh, hi.
I really don't have a choice.
Listen, Jack, I was wondering if you really have to go away on business, or if you're not coming to Peter's party for some other reason.
No, Sharon, I do have a business engagement. Anyway, since you asked, I'll tell you. There's more. I'm jealous of Peter.
Come on, Jack. You only care about business.
Sure. That's what they all say. But, you know, I'm interested in you. And Sharon, are you really interested in me?
Who are you talking to on the telephone?
Mary. She wanted to know what time the party's going to start.
I think it will start at about 9 o'clock, won't it?
Well, girls, I have to go finish my presentation. See you later. Bye.
Back to work. You'll never quit, will you? Oh, what a shame that Jack isn't coming. He's a very interesting person.
I wonder if you're falling in love with him. Come on, you can tell me.
Okay. But don't tell anyone. Yes. He's quite handsome. Do you think he likes me, Sharon?
What a question. It's none of my business.
Don't be so difficult, Sharon. I was just asking, confidentially, your opinion. You are my friend, Sharon.
I'm sorry, Anne. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm just a bit nervous these days.
Why?
Because of Peter. We're having some problems. I'm sorry, Anne, but I don't want to talk about that. I've got to go. See you later. Bye-bye.
Oh, Jack, you're always so messy. You leave your things everywhere. But what's this in the pocket? What? It's Jack and Sharon. And he's kissing her. Oh my God. Now I understand everything.
Hello again and welcome back to your live English language lessons. And in this lesson, we're going to learn something about questions. Remember how we said that English questions are difficult because of all those auxiliaries? Well, in this lesson, we're going to learn something which is especially typical of the English language. They're called question tags. Now, let me give you an example of a question tag. She's unhappy, isn't she? Let's look at that. So, she's unhappy, isn't she? Strange, hey? She's unhappy, isn't she? Now, it's not really a question asking you for information. It's more a question asking for confirmation, whether you agree. And usually the people agree. So she's unhappy, isn't she? Yes, she is. Look at the construction. She's unhappy is in the positive form. And then we have the tag. It's called the question tag after, in the verb to be, but in the negative question form. She's unhappy, isn't she? This is very common in English and not common in other languages, because other languages usually use no. For example, she's unhappy. No, we repeat the verb. And because it's complicated now, let's go to the screen and see some more examples of that, okay? So, she's upset is like she's unhappy. She's upset, isn't she? You're a student, the verb to be, you're a student. You take the verb to be, are, and you turn it into a negative question. So we say, you're a student, aren't you? All right. Next one, he's Brazilian, isn't he? Do you see the mechanism now? It's raining, isn't it? Again, I'm not asking for information, I'm asking for confirmation. They're watching television. They are watching, aren't they? They're watching television, aren't they? And you notice that my voice actually goes down at the end, so it's not like a real question where your voice goes up. We're learning, aren't we? You live in Italy now. Look at this example here. You live is the present tense, so we need the auxiliary of the present tense of live, which is not the verb to be. So look how that works. You live in Italy, don't you? Negative don't. Auxiliary is do in the negative don't you. Interesting, hey? You live in Italy, don't you? If we change that into the third person, it becomes she likes English. What's the auxiliary? Exactly, does. In the negative, doesn't she? So she likes English, doesn't she? And the last example, they work at home, don't they? They work at home, don't they? All right, so it's not easy. You have to keep in mind the auxiliaries all the time. What happens if we begin with a negative sentence? For example, you aren't American. Well, then we use a positive tag. So, you aren't American, are you? Okay, aren't, are. She isn't a teacher. Is she? Negative, positive. He isn't watching TV, is he? They aren't playing today, are they? Let's change to the present tense. You don't play tennis, do you? We use the auxiliary do you? Question form. It doesn't work, does it? Third person. She doesn't like him, does she? And they don't come often, do they? Now, you're probably thinking, God, that's really difficult. And it's not easy. It takes a lot of practice. But when you know your auxiliaries well, it becomes easier and easier. Okay, so don't worry, slowly but surely, as we say. Now let's turn to that's life, and our friends are having a party. Let's go and join them. Bye.
It's a shame Jack isn't here, isn't it?
Yes, it's just not the same without him, is it?
Well, business is business, you know.
Well, Anne, I wonder what wonderful food you cooked for us this evening. Anne, hello? Are you there?
Oh, sorry, Peter. I was miles away. What did you say?
What did you cook for us?
Oh, your favorite. Fish and chips.
Oh, what would I do without you?
Hey, what about me? I brought the beer.
Yes, we're glad you did. Cheers!
Cheers. Cheers. Here's to Peter's success.
Well, guys, this is the right time for an important announcement. Last night, there was a famous director at the theater. We met after the show, and he told me he is preparing a musical to be performed all over Japan. So he wants to see me for an audition next week.
Well, cheers! 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 You'll be famous soon, Peter.
Surprise!
Jack!
Jack!
Well, well, not so dedicated to your work, are you?
Peter, get me a beer.
Now you're talking.
Hi, Anne. Is everything okay?
Yes. No, Jack. Oh, everything's fine. It was just really a surprise to me.
Hello and welcome back again for some more English. Now, at that party, everybody seemed happy except Anne. And nobody really noticed what was happening between Sharon and Jack. Well, anyway, let's get back to English questions. Last time we studied question tags. But this time I want to look at another question form in English which is very important. Now, when you don't know the subject, you need to ask a question in order to get the subject. Now, let me explain that. Usually in a normal question in English, like, where do you work? The subject form is in the question, where do you work? And the answer would be, I work in London. But if I want to ask you about the subject, I have to change the question and it becomes, who works in London? Now that question is asking for the subject, and the answer could be, my brother, the subject, works in London. Now, the good thing is we eliminate the auxiliaries do and does. Yahoo! I can hear you say. Let's do some examples before we go to the screen, okay? Now, I'll ask you some questions. For example, who likes English? Notice that there's the S on the verb because who is considered a third person. Who likes English? I do. You do, for example, all right? Who lives in igloos? Now, give me the subject. Who lives in igloos? Yeah, exactly. Eskimos live in igloos, all right? You give me the subject. Now, answer this one. Who cultivates rice? Who cultivates rice? Yeah? The Chinese, the Italians, Southeast Asian countries. Okay, good. Next one. Who sings musicals in That's Life? Exactly. Jack sings musicals. Great. Who wants to be an artist? I'm asking you for the subject. who wants to be an artist? Yeah, Alice does. Alice wants to be an artist. And who likes Jack? Well, Sharon does, Anne does, and so does Alice. He's a lucky man. All right, now let's go to the screen and see those written, because it's unusual for you now to learn a question with no auxiliary. So, what happens is you have the word who, which is the question word, and you eliminate the auxiliary. If you look at the first example, which is the typical question, who do you live with? You're asking for the object, and the answer could be your family, for example. Who do you live with? The subject is you. You ask for the object. But who lives with you? You are asking for the subject, and the answer could be my family. Okay? Let's look at some more examples. No auxiliary. So, who works in an office? He does. Who likes English? We do. Who lives in igloos? Eskimos live in igloos. Who cultivates rice? The Italians, the Chinese. Who understands Russian? I don't. Do you? Who sings musicals? Peter does. Who wants to be an artist? Alice. And who likes Jack? We all do. Okay, so very interesting this, and we will look at it again in the future. But remember, this is one occasion, the only occasion where you don't need auxiliaries in the question form when you're asking for the subject. So, who understands this? We do. Okay. So I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.